On this episode of Out of the Groove, we look deeper into Kyle Larson's win at Michigan, and we talk about the favorites for the upcoming race at Darlington. Hi everybody, I'm Eric, and welcome to Out of the Groove episode 2. You know what they say, second is the best, or third time's the charm, but that'll be next week. So the first order of business, Brad Keselowski finished third last week at Michigan, but he then failed post-race laser inspection. In the episode I did on Monday, I talked about how I thought he was going to get a 15-point deduction and a $25,000 fine like everyone else has gotten, but for some reason NASCAR decided to go a little bit easier on him and only took away 10 points and only fined him $15,000. Which, you know, still isn't a major penalty or anything like that, but made me wonder, why is Keselowski getting off easier than other people? I mean, most recently Matt Kenseth got hit with the same penalty, but he got $25,000 and a 15-point fine. Not to mention the fact that Brad Keselowski had 2 pre-race warnings when he was going through pre-race inspection. So I just wonder, is it because he didn't win? In which case, wow, you should have done better with the cheating car. What a loser. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that. I saw an interesting thing online the other day. As you all most likely know, Kyle Larson got his first career Sprint Cup victory this past Sunday at Michigan, and it was a big deal. It's his first career win. Now he's in the chase. Now he's ahead of Chase. Elliott, that is. But what I found funny was the fact that Kyle Larson's parents, who are very known for frequently going to almost all of Kyle Larson's races, just so happened to miss probably the biggest one of his career so far. And according to what I read, they've missed almost all of his first wins in any NASCAR series. But in all honesty, he's been in the series 3 years. Can you blame him? I mean, seriously, what made them think that Michigan was going to be the race that he gets his first win? I can already see how it went down. Mike, are we going to the race this weekend?
Why, they got half-price beer or something?
Well, no, but we always go to Kyle's races, right?
Look how far that's got us.
I mean, what are the odds he's actually gonna win this weekend? That's our son you're talking about.
Exactly.
Oh, you're right, I guess one race won't hurt.
I mean, have you seen who's in the field? I mean, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch. We're talking about our son here.
Yeah, it's probably a waste of money.
Waste of time.
That too. In all seriousness though, at least they watched it on TV, so they're able to still share some sort of emotional experience digitally through the airwaves. And it probably looks something like this.
Come on, Chase, come on! Get that W for 24!
Come on, come on! Yes! Yes! Oh yes!
Oh my god!
Yes! I think that was pretty accurate. Of course, winning a race for the first time is a huge event for the driver itself, family, friends, anyone associated, team, crew chief, all these people. It was a big weekend, I'm sure, for Kyle Larson. I am sure he has not stopped smiling since then.
But he's gonna have to get serious.
And that's because this week's race is at Darlington, the Lady in Black, the track too tough to tame. And it can be tough for everyone, even veterans. So a young driver like Kyle Larson, who still doesn't have that much experience, is going to really have his work cut out for him. So as I said I would do last week, I'm going to talk a little bit about who I think the favorites are going into Darlington. And now most of these probably aren't going to surprise you, because I honestly think Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, and Brad Keselowski are the top 3 you're going to have to watch out for on Sunday. And that's really all I have to say about it. It's basically, Harvick's been the top Chevy most of this year, Keselowski's been the top Ford, and Kyle Busch has been the top Toyota, and they've all been very, very good this year. We really don't see drivers just dominate at certain tracks anymore. I mean, like, I remember just recently, like, every time we went to Dover, Jimmy Johnson was, like, the clear favorite. Whenever we went to Phoenix, like, Kevin Harvick was definitely the favorite. Or when we went to, like, a road course, you'd expect Marcus Ambrose or AJ Allmendinger would always be in the top 5. It's not like that anymore. I mean, in all honesty, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, and Kevin Harvick should probably be the favorites every week. I mean, there's, like, nowhere that they're bad. And when I look at like the top drivers in NASCAR, even like Jimmy Johnson, you know, Carl Edwards, Matt Kenseth, Joey Logano, there's really no track that they're just bad at. And at the same time, I can't really think of a track that they're just amazing at. I think with the rules changing so much, especially as much as they have the last 3 or 4 years, it's really done away with the people like Jeff Gordon just dominating Martinsville for years and years. It's causing that to go away. And it's hard to say if that's good or bad for the sport. Because the good part is that, you know, everyone's pretty equal, which means everyone has a pretty good chance of winning each week, and that's good. But the negative is now, if, say, Marcus Ambrose was still in the sport, we no longer look at a track like Watkins Glen or Sonoma as being like his way into the chase. Like, think about it, Denny Hamlin won at Watkins Glen and Tony Stewart won at Sonoma. Like a couple of drivers that could win almost anywhere. It takes that factor out of the excitement. Personally, I don't really care about it, but I know probably some people do. But it's just something I've noticed, and I think it just has to do with all the constant rules changes, and especially when they brought the Gen 6 car over in 2013, totally changed the whole playing field for everyone pretty much equally. I feel like it's become more about the cars and the setups than it has the drivers in a lot of ways. I mean, clearly the drivers still have the opportunity to make that big move or make that decision decision that could either make or break a race. But ultimately, I feel like it comes down to just who's got the best setup each week, because all these drivers are all so good at pretty much every track. Things they have with like simulators now, and just the access all these drivers have to all the information, like they're all, like, anyway, if you've been in the sport more than 3 or 4 years, you're as good as someone who's been in the sport 20 years, because you just have the same level of access to every information. The rules packages are continuing to change, so nobody's able to really get a hold on something for a long period of time. It really just comes down to which team is able to individually set their car better than everyone else's each week individually. It was kind of a mouthful to say, but I hope it makes sense. So I don't know how y'all feel about that, if you like the fact that kind of it's a fairly level playing field at every track, or do you hate it and you wish, no, I like it back when, certain guys were good at certain tracks and you knew who the favorites were going in. Nowadays, like I said, it's really just 3 or 4 guys that have been good all season that you kind of expect to run up front every week. Now when the chase hits, those are the guys that are definitely going to be the championship favorites. Because in the chase, even with the whole win and you're in and like the individual rounds and stuff, I still think the most consistent driver is going to win. I mean, Kevin Harvick in 2014 was definitely the most consistent driver throughout. Even though he had a couple bad races, he was able to make up for it with a win. So Harvick himself won the championship in 2014, probably the most consistent driver. Kyle Busch last year, despite missing, the first couple months of the season, once he got back into the sport, and especially when the chase hit, he was clearly the most dominant driver almost every week. Made perfect sense that he won the championship. So I think that's what you're going to have to look for when the chase starts, is the most consistently good drivers and cars at every track, because there's not that much difference anymore. Anyway, that was my long ramble. Didn't really have anything to do with anything. And that is our show. Thank you all so much for watching episode 2 of Out of the Groove. Next episode will be up Monday, reviewing the Darlington race, talking about whatever big stories come out of that, and we'll be looking a little bit ahead to Richmond, which is the final race of the NASCAR regular season. So we're getting into playoff time, a lot of excitement. I really appreciate you guys watching. Share this with the NASCAR fans in your life. I hope they enjoyed as well. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And that's all I have to say. So I'm Eric. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see y'all next week.